everyone. I'm Donna, and welcome to It's Your Time.
And I'm Vicki, and welcome to It's Your Time.
Yay. And today, Vicki wants to talk about a dream that she had that was cathartic. Well, what she went through after the dream was cathartic.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we wanted to talk about clearing things like that. And my celestial helpers have some exercises on that. And I don't know if we'll have time, but maybe we'll do a channeling. So tell us about your dream. I love it when people talk about dreams that they learn something from.
Okay. Well, it's your time to clear out the dust, to get into those ugly spaces in the room of yourself and shine some light in there. So I I had this dream. And it was a stress dream. It was a dream I've had, well, a different type of dream, but always the same stressful dream. I was in payroll for years and years and years. And every week there's some sort of a deadline. I know. But I was good at it.
And you got to retire early, so that's another good thing.
That's right. And I was good at my job and all that stuff. Well, so I had this dream about having to do a check. Like I had to create this check somehow. And I really wasn't sure what that was, but I was trying to think, okay, well, my dream was about work. What happened at work that is not letting me release it? And then, it reminded me of something that I do think about periodically, more than I probably should, because, it's 9 years. I really just ought to let it go. Where it was just a little thing that I did at work. I was not in my integrity because, I have a very high, standard for myself.
Yes.
But I was also the last week of work. So I was in that don't give a you know what.
Somebody else is going to clean it up
That's
later.
right.
Yep.
So I started, it came to me as like, "Oh, I really need to tell somebody this." And so I told my old boss.
Ah,
Well, she wasn't my boss at the time. She was just a coworker at that point. But so I went ahead and I thought, I need to just voice this stuff and I need to get it out. And so we went to breakfast and I started talking about this and she was like, "You're carrying that?"
all this time?
Yeah. She goes, "You kind of let that go because nobody's going to care."
9 years ago. Yeah.
9 years ago. And then,
Yeah.
and guilt and shame, shame for feeling guilty. And of course, I had shame for something that happened when I was like 4 years old.
Oh, how did that come out?
Well, because I'm clearing out the cobwebs.
So the dream, it was a cycle
Yeah,
and
it
it
was
brought
it was a
with it.
cycle of me clearing, right? What is it that I'm holding that I don't need to hold? And so I thought about the thing at work. I told my friend, and then I thought about the shameful thing at 4 years old. And I told my friend, and she, it was fine. Children are, you're a child. People are curious. It had to do with being curious at 4 years old,
Mhm.
kind of, sort of, pretty
Right.
much. And don't feel shameful about that. That's just normal human kids growing up. And then don't feel guilt about work. Don't worry about it because, it really was not that big of a deal. And I'm sure, whatever I let go got caught.
By
Because,
now. Yeah.
yeah, so it was not that big of a deal. And so it was like, and I felt better. I felt better talking about it. So if
Mhm.
you guys have a good friend that you want to, unload on, now's the time to do it because now's the time. Sun is going to go into Scorpio soon, actually. And so it's like I think I'm getting these energies to start clearing things out. So Sun is going to go into Scorpio. Mars is, I think, in Scorpio.
Mhm.
I'm not sure. Mars is in something, and it's
I
going
don't.
to create a lot of upheaval within yourself. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to get some of this stuff out and we'll take it from there. And so I bared my soul to my friend, and she graciously listened to me. She
Oh,
made me feel better. And I just wanted to share that if you have anything that you're holding on to that causes you stress dreams, it's time to tell somebody.
right.
Your friends will understand, your friends will help you.
Well, I think you're lucky that you knew what the issue was because a lot of times people have these kinds of dreams or they feel like all these things are coming at them and these memories of, like you said, when you were 4 years old, why am I thinking of that now? Things like
Mhm.
that. But they're just clearing. And so now we just say, just accept that this is how you felt at the time and just let it go, which is the easy way. But there are some people that it happens to, these dreams happen and you don't know why or
Well,
what it has to do with.
I've had, these kind of stress dreams on and off for years. And, a lot of it just might be, carry over energetically from being in a that kind of environment for so
Hmm.
long, 30 years of deadlines, because that's going to affect everybody.
Yeah. Oh, and it probably affected how you had to unthink, figure out how to
Hmm.
not think that way anymore.
Hmm.
And thank God you don't do it all the time because it takes a while to get out of that fight or flight, I guess they would call it.
Yeah. And,
Mhm.
whether that dream was specifically for me to do this, I'm just guessing because
Well,
that's what came into my awareness. And so I just went with it.
but it helped you a lot, it seems. So you did I feel like it was there on purpose. Like I know people think I'm nuts, but I'll even just yesterday I was at the grocery store and I was ready to leave and I kept feeling this pull go over to this aisle kind of a thing. And I connected with my guides and I was like, why do you want me to go there? It's all things that I don't use. And they were like, you need to go. And a couple of times during the visit, they did the same thing. And so my lesson yesterday was to use my intuitiveness, which is a big one that people are pulling out. And I was like, how do I do it? And so here's my lesson. They kept saying, go. And I was on my way to the checkout and they were like, go. I went, okay. So I went back. I looked like an idiot. I'm like, I want to get, no, yes, I do. No, I don't.
I know. It's
And
like
I was,
I go around in a circle in the kitchen going, what was I gonna do?
so,
What was I gonna do?
so I went back and I walked past all the women things the ones that I haven't used in a while and the ones I don't need yet. Cause the old lady stuff is there too. And not there yet. And so I walked past all that looking, going, what is it that I need? And I saw something that was for an injury. And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe there's something there that's going to help my foot. It's almost healed, but I still am putting ice on it and stuff because I fell in front of the mailbox in case you didn't know. And it's fine, and it's healing quickly. And I saw this thing, and it was a thing that you put in the microwave to heat, or you put it in the freezer. And I was like, this is really handy, and I can even use this in the winter when I'm at work and my hands are cold, blah blah whatever. And I just went, wow, out loud. I went, wow, thank you. And there was nobody near me.
Well, that's good.
So, but but you get those pulls, and you
Mhm.
obviously this dream sparked something and but at least you weren't questioning like what does it mean. It was just a natural progression,
Mhm.
I believe, because you are more in touch with your intuitiveness and you're paying attention, you're listening and not just having things bombard you and not
Mhm.
understand. I'm
And
good.
I get a lot of thoughts, from watching television because I do that. And I'm watching Lucifer right now, which has a whole different meaning now in my life than it did,
Mhm.
years ago, because you were just watching it and it was an interesting show and stuff.
I didn't see
And
it.
now it's got a lot more depth to it than I gave it credit for.
Mhm.
And one of them, they had the show about guilt, and one of the characters had died off and he had gone to hell, but it wasn't because of anything he did. It was because he put himself there because of the guilt that he was holding. And so it's like, oh, guilt's bad. We don't want guilt.
Well,
So
yeah, I hear,
yeah, so if you just need to tell somebody, tell somebody.
just get it off your chest
Hmm.
and clear it. And if you're having issues clearing things, there are exercises, that you can that my guides have given me that have helped me a lot. And I didn't know that I had followed these lessons until I was typing them up. And I went, okay, so this is something that they brought up to me when I was channeling on and off or when I was meditating or whatever. And I realized that I had followed this and I didn't even know that I did this. So anyway, I'm not going to read word for word from the book, but just to let you know, um, if you reach for and find wonderful things in your daily life, it brings your frequency up higher, and the things that you no longer need want to even that out so they will come out and things like that in a stress dream or someone will say something to you that triggers you whatever some in some way it will be a resistance of some sort and you can look at that as a lesson rather than why is this happening, although I still say that why did I fall and hurt my toe, things like that, you still say that, but the next step is to find the lesson behind the resistance, I guess
Hmm.
what I would say. So if you delve into the reasons that you believe that these things have come to you, that's a perfect way to clear, but you don't want to live there. You don't want to go in there and live. You just want to look at it and feel the emotion, understand why you felt that, and the answer will come to you, just like it did to you. Right?
And then find a really good friend to
To,
unload
to
on.
talk to if you need that. Yeah, if you
Yes.
need that. If you don't or especially it looks like you found the best one. You didn't just tell any, I mean, you did tell me, but I
I
didn't.
didn't know because you wouldn't have had any connection to it.
Well, you did tell me there was an issue. You didn't tell me what
Yeah,
it was.
yeah,
You do
yeah.
that. You do that a lot, and that's how you. I mean, that's fine. You're working through
Hmm.
whatever, and I'm a friend. I'm here for whatever you want. It's not like I have to know every little thing. But what I'm saying is, you did tell other people because you shared it in another group,
Hmm.
but you went to the person who you felt would be the one who would totally understand it,
Hmm.
who may, if there were any dregs that were still hanging around because of
Hmm.
it, she could have found it and fixed it
Hmm.
for you. So that was really,
And she gave me absolution.
well, yeah, that's true.
That's
So
always good.
that's very true. And now maybe she went in and looked, what happened?
No, no, she doesn't care either.
She
She
didn't even care.
she
Okay.
didn't care either.
Well, because it's 9 years later.
Yeah.
If it happened, if it had been only a couple of months or something, then maybe she would.
Well,
But
yeah.
anyway, my point is, you
Hmm.
went to a person who would understand all sides of
Hmm.
it, not just,
Yeah.
I feel bad because had this dream. So I think you were led to her.
But
And,
yeah, but then there's also that other part of it's like, okay, so if this had happened, let's say a couple months afterwards, would I have done anything different? Would I go back and try and fix anything? And I cannot say that I would. I would still handle it exactly the same way.
that's really good to know.
You
And that
know,
was the next thing
whether it was right or wrong, good or bad, I'm sticking with it and I'm gonna go down. Gonna
well,
go down with that ship.
that's one of the things that they talked about. So it's like you read the book or something.
Did I?
You learned from, you did, but yeah,
I
you
did, but
read
I
it
don't
a long
remember.
time ago. But so the idea is to imagine a new way for those things to have happened, or
Hmm.
at least understand what did happen. And I know
Hmm.
we already said that, but it's good to reiterate these things. I see people reiterating a point. I think we should do more of that. I think it's a good idea. So, and then imagine an outcome that would happen now where you are now if that happened, not just, would I have done it differently back then if I had realized, what it was, or, if you did something on purpose, you need to find out the purpose because especially if it's not, a good thing. So it doesn't sound like yours was any big deal.
It wasn't a horrible thing. It
Yeah.
was just one of those things.
I know I did one when I used to do health claims where I was leaving and it probably got overturned anyway, but they had overturned something where somebody was being billed a whole lot of money and it did not seem right to me. So I just went, oh, it's paid. Well, I'm sure someone, some auditor later came back or something, but
See,
hopefully
it
it
kind of
didn't
got to do
cause
with
too much of a problem.
that
Oh, is it?
kind
Oh,
of sort of somebody got overpaid and I turned it off. And it's like, well, but I was doing an audit that nobody ever did. You know what I mean?
oh, you're the one who
Because I
does
was good at my
those.
job.
That's funny. Yeah, I always wonder who does those. I always think of like Ebenezer
And so it's like,
Scrooge in the corner somewhere.
somebody should audit that stuff. Somebody should.
So it was something you wouldn't normally even do anyway.
No.
It looks like you helped somebody, so good for you. So, but another thing that they're talking about is that to journal these things, but there are
Hmm.
lessons in if it's not just an instance like yours where you had one thing that came back to you, if you are delving into shadow work, I guess they would call it, but my helpers call it clearing because shadow, well, it has a shadow in it, and that's a
Hmm.
negative thing. So clearing is more like, you're looking at the outcome. We're going to clear
Right.
it. So,
And I don't know if shadow is really a negative thing. I think it's just something to be recognized.
oh, it totally is. I'm just talking about
Yeah.
the use of the word. It
Hmm.
always the same thing. But, if somebody comes to me and say they want help with shadow work, then I'm not going to tell them, "Oh, I call it clearing." I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But that tells me something about that
Hmm.
person that
Hmm.
they're in, to me anyway, they're in a different frequency if they're looking at it because the word shadow has so many negative connotations in 3D. So that's why, and work, the word work, you don't have to work at it. It's like you have to change. I personally change it, and I like that they say clearing things rather than I'm working on myself or, things like that. That
Oh,
every word that you utter, I totally believe this. Every word that you utter, well, there are people that say every tone that comes out of your mouth is creating something
mhm.
by its tone. So if you're saying I have to do shadow work, you're looking at I have all these bad, terrible things that I need
But
to.
see but that's not the way I would say it. It's like I get to do shadow work,
Right. There you go.
because
That's
shadow is
better.
not in itself a bad thing. It's just a part of you that you carry.
Well, and it's just a term. It's what
Right.
you know,
But
growth, it's just growth.
you are made up of the good things and you are made up of the bad things. You are made up of, I mean, you live in a 3D world. You live on Earth. You have to learn to love each and every shadow that you have.
You have to learn all of your polarities and
Right.
everything about you and love
Because
yourself.
if you love it, that means that you have seen what good it brought into your life.
That's right. And that's why you do the shadow work, so you can figure
Yes.
it
Hmm.
out.
Hmm.
That's really good. So anyway, so they have on day like, you do it for 3 days. So, watch for wonderful things in your life. And this is not just that, oh, be grateful. Like, when you're feeling down, people say, oh, think of something that makes you feel grateful and that will bring you up. And that's true. But this is for deeper work. Okay. So for 3 days, then you would list three or more things, large or small, that have brought you happiness during that day or as it happens, and briefly note what countered that happiness. If there was something like you're talking about resistance, like
Hmm.
did you start out with, oh my God, I made an error at work, but then I realized it wasn't that big a deal and I was happy, that kind of thing. Because you will then notice and see when those things happen that your first reaction doesn't need to be, oh my God, and your stomach doesn't have to clench up.
Hmm.
So, and then imagine these events with a new outcome. That's what they always say that. And then day two, to list five or more things that brought you happiness and what countered it, and why, and was it within your control? Because if not, if it isn't in your if it's in your control, then you can change that. If it isn't, why did this event or behavior counter your happiness? So if it's out of your control, then it's out of your control. Did any reaction seem different than one from a similar previous event? So then you can see your growth and imagine and list the two new outcomes that it could be. And then day three, list five or more things that brought you happiness. What countered your happiness? Why do you believe that it countered your happiness? So they're adding a step each day.
Hmm.
And if it is the same reason, why do you believe that it reoccurred? Examine the reason you cannot let go of it and allow yourself forgiveness. And if the pain remains, imagine upturning a bucket of forgiveness to spread over a bubble of pain. I love those little analogies like that. Yeah. And so with each session with a thankful heart, with a thank you, thank yourself. And because gratefulness can be given no matter what the circumstances, no matter what. This is like no matter what you did. So though that's their lessons on clearing and
So it's really kind of going into what you feel bad about, writing them out, and then seeing them in different perspectives.
well, but they're saying what counters your happiness. So
Hmm.
first they're saying look for happiness. So that's gonna raise your frequency.
Hmm.
But then they're looking at the opposite of that. So it took me a while to, I mean, I was doing it, but I didn't really realize why or how. They just said they would ask me these questions that I just, read when I would say, they would, well, what made you happy today? And I would say it, and they did anything counter your happy, not that happiness, but anything else. So I guess you're looking at both sides, both polarities within a day.
Hmm.
So,
And the lessons that you learn, and really do, kind of putting them in a different spot by imagining different outcomes too.
definitely. Even though, and you can't feel guilt over the fact that, your knee-jerk reaction or what you did at that moment, you did. You
Hmm.
can't change that, but you can change how you look at it and
Hmm.
and where you place it in your heart as far as a happening, an event of your day.
And maybe there was a reason for you to react that way that
Exactly.
somebody else learned a lesson from.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, they didn't talk about that, but that is always a good point. In because when you say you're clearing or you're doing shadow work, you're working on yourself. You don't
Hmm.
realize, maybe you do, but people don't realize how that changes their vibration and it affects everyone around them and
Yeah.
everyone in their life. And especially if you had an event with someone else
Hmm.
that maybe you'd have the guts to go back and say I'm sorry, or you can look at what their reaction was from a different point of view also.
Hmm.
Because when those energies, when anger comes, people are angry with each other. All it is anger. When you back, like they always say, take a time out. Well, I think to me, all that ever did was help people calm down, but they never really analyzed what happened or why
Hmm.
they felt that way. So you got to take a step further. But that's a great point that it may help others. That's always what I want to do is to help others.
Yeah. And if you feel like you owe somebody an apology, if you can give them an apology, do it. If not, write it out.
Mhm.
Just at least get it out some way.
That's right. Yeah, and know that the next time around you probably are not going to act the same way.
Right, because you've
Yeah.
learned something.
Definitely, definitely. And that's growth, boy. That's
Hmm.
that's what we're here for, growth. That's right. So, I don't know if their channel is going to be about all of this, but do we have time? What time is
Oh, yeah.
I can't tell. We do? Okay.
Hmm.
So maybe we'll do a little channel. Maybe they'll talk about that. I don't know.
Yeah,
They're
that'd
like,
be cool.
they're sorting. I can feel that they're like, what do you want? What do you want? Oh, let's bring Fred over.
Oh,
He's got to
it's
talk
like,
now.
oh my gosh, they're changing the direction.
Well, that they just wanted me to do a lesson. And when I went to the first one, I was like, well, we've done a lot of meditative things, so and then I felt, the push to look further and see
Mhm.
this, it all came together. You had your whatever happened, but I'm just afraid I'm going to be coughing through it. My voice is going to be gravelly, but so let's give it a whirl. Um, I always want to clear a little bit before I do. So let me light. It's Palo Santo, and it doesn't stay lit. It's just for a moment to get some smoke. Just to let a little smoke in the air clear anything that we were talking, all of our guilt and things we were talking about.
Yeah, get it out.
Okay, so everyone can channel. This is what they want me to start with. Everyone can channel. Always begin in as high a frequency as you can. That's why I light the Palo Santo. After a meditation is, it's the best time. Or when you first wake up, that's a good time too. And always be in love and light. So, in love and light, we're going to ask the celestial helpers to join us. So, take a few deep breaths right from the ground. Feel your feet on the ground. Can you hear me okay? Is this in the right place for a quiet voice? Okay. All right. So, feeling our feet on the ground, and we know there is that white light that comes down, healing, loving white light that comes down into our heart. And we will breathe up from the ground to meet in our heart. And grounding the earth, we are connected to the earth. We are exhilarated today. We are celebrating wonderful connections that are happening. Things are happening this week. There are many new people that are aware that there is much more to life than your phones and your job. There are many people who are questioning what is happening, and many who are realizing that there is a new happiness, a new type of energy that is surrounding Earth. And when you connect with Mother Earth, your Gaia or Pachamama, when you connect with her, you are feeling her growth and her love and happiness. She is becoming more happy. She is opening. She has many openings that she is growing through. We are celebrating that there are many more connections happening. We know that some of you, feel that you did not come from this planet Earth, though you are connected to Earth and you do live on Earth and you love Earth. You feel as though you came from somewhere else. And if this is true, you can connect to see who is out there, who is your connection to the place from where you came. There are many galaxies, many places for you to connect to. And we will say scientifically, physiologically, physically, when you open your heart, when you are seeking love and light, that is what will come to you, and someone who you have had a previous connection with will come to you. You will find out much more about yourself, about your roots, about your soul, about your higher self. You will gain friendship you did not know you had. You will connect to family. It will feel as though you are connecting to such a love that you have only felt a few times in your physical life, momentarily. You will find much happiness in connecting with those of us who are out here, who are within you, who are here to assist. You may call us helpers, you may call many angels. Many angels are here to help also. If you believe that there are angels to help you, please, please connect with these angels. Ask them for assistance. Tell them you are grateful. Tell them you are happy to be of assistance with them. And the right people and the right circumstances will come to you to do this. If you feel you are on this earth to serve, if you have the purpose of helping others, if you are already in a job or profession, or you live in a fashion where you are assisting others and this fulfills you and makes you happy, this is a time to connect to those, the angels, the helpers, ascended masters, any and all of these sentient beings that may call, you may call upon. We are all here to assist you. We can all be in connection, and you all will be in connection eventually. This is the plan. This is why we are here, to help you all be in connection. You will connect with yourself. You will connect with your higher self. You will connect with us. You will connect to your source. And this is where you will feel such a love that you have never thought of before. Always and always we send our love. And this channeler is laughing inside because this is not what she thought would happen on this day. But we have our agenda, and she is always open to our agenda in love and light. But we will say, if you do wish to work on what you call shadow work, what you call clearing, what we call clearing, what you call growth, we call this growth and clearing and love. Because when you are doing practices like this, when you are growing like this, this shows such love of yourself. You know, you will find how worthy you can be. You are a worthy being. You are loved. You are so loved. And there are so many, many, what you may call entities that are getting closer to you. As you say, the veil is thinning. This is a wonderful week, not just because it is your Halloween, not just because it is Samhain or it is a religious or a pagan time, not because of this only. It is also a cosmic connection. Some say it is the comets that are here or the interstellar visitors. Some say it is planetary. We know, we see, this is an unprecedented time. This is a time for you to connect to past loved ones if you have not done so. Even if you need an earthly helper to get the connection started. Mediums, angels, psychics, helpers, all of these wonderful beings are here to help. Find whatever way works for you to connect. You can connect to a loved one who is on the other side, as you say. You can connect to your higher self. You can connect to your guardian angel. You can find out your cosmic roots all of these things will be so much easier for you this week and even after your Hallows Eve. We love you so much. We send our love. We are the Celestial Helpers, and Simeon wants to send a loving hug. Wow. Whew. I felt that was heavy duty. I don't know what it was, but I felt, oh, I got a hug. Oh, they're hugging me. Oh, I love it when they do that.
They were pretty straightforward.
Oh,
No?
really?
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
hope they were nice, I hope.
yeah.
Now they're always nice,
They're
but
always nice.
I feel so good. Oh, that just feels so good, people, when you connect like that. It's like every cell in your body starts to dance and it feels so good. Oop, something just fell over on the other side of the table.
Were you dancing
I
energetically?
guess I danced the table into. Well, I remember I do remember them saying something about Halloween, and I know that they told me this morning that all of these things are open, and I didn't even think of Halloween, but when they started here, I have a little conversation going with them sometimes, and when I'm way in the background, or I'll think something, and I guess they hear it. Maybe it's more like that, and I thought. Oh, that's right. It's Halloween. That's why. So that's why I think they said, I feel like they said it's not just because of that, it's everything. And,
Mhm.
but people right now, people believe that Halloween is when the veil thins. So yeah, go for it. That's why they're saying that this week.
Because
Yeah,
people put their energy into something and it really does kind of make it happen.
it
So
does.
everybody believes that the veil is very thin during this time. The veil becomes very thin during this
That's
time.
right. That's right.
The chicken or the egg doesn't matter which comes first.
Well, they explain it as if you want to look at the scientific side or
Mhm,
the physical side, that everybody is opening up.
mhm,
Everybody's heart, and especially with the energies that are coming. This is not the flash, but or maybe it is, I don't know, but it's it's like a big thing that's happening this week, like
mhm.
you were talking about all the alignments.
Yeah, we're all
And
going, a bunch, well, some planets now are going retrograde, but they had gone direct. And, listening to everything, on YouTube, the energies from now through the end of the year are going to be heightened, so be sure you if you can keep your vibe high, that's what the way you want to go.
that's
Because,
right. Well, I
you
think
might be in, huh?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. You might
Oh,
be what?
I don't
I'm sorry.
remember now.
Sorry. Oh,
That's what happens when get old.
my ADHD makes me, but I want to say something and then I stop. Now I forget what I was going to say.
Yeah.
What
So
was
anyway, the energies are really high from now through the end of the year. So be aware of where you're vibrating. Let's just put it that way. Be aware and don't let things, people, incidences knock you off
Well, and that's another
your
thing that they're
vibe.
talking about, that this energy has stopped those things from happening a lot of times.
Hmm.
Because it's almost like we were going to the top of the stairs and we're on this landing now and we can't go back down. So it's like you can look down and you can think about it for a second, but you're going to go back up really fast if anything is, bringing you down, or like your
Right. But
dream.
but but you do have to be careful about where you put your focus.
Oh, always,
Yeah.
always. Yeah, I don't think about that because my focus is always, for the most part, I feel like my focus is always in a higher frequency. Maybe it's because I channel. Maybe that's
Maybe. Yeah. I just know that, I will see what is happening, in this world, and I will go, okay, I'm done with that. Let's go feel good again.
that's right. Yeah. You know that that's not what you you don't want to
Right.
go there anymore.
Right. But then, I also do kind of transmute it at the same time by going, oh, well, this is going to help blah, blah, blah happen faster. This is going to
Mhm.
help something happen sooner, because that's the way you got to look at things, I
That's right.
think.
If you want to stay in a higher frequency, that's what's
That's
going to
right.
happen. Yeah, and I think it's pretty much set who's going to go and who's not. But, people can always change their mind. And so that's why well, that's why we do these videos and podcasts and pardon me. And they I was feeling just to kind of share a little bit really quickly. I was feeling kind of down that I felt like people weren't paying attention to my Celestial Helper things on my New Light Connection on Facebook. And I went into my old, well, then I won't do any more. Like when you're a little
Oh,
kid.
your 5-year-old's coming
Yeah,
out.
my 5-year-old self came out and
I'll
said,
show
well,
you.
said if I can't have 5 cookies, then I won't have any. And of course, my mom would
Yeah.
laugh and say, okay,
More for me.
yeah, right. Anyway, but that happened for a flash of a second, and I felt them laughing, and I was like, "Are you laughing at me?" And they said, "Oh no, we're loving you. We're just laughing because we know that you're going to change your mind, as you always do." And it happened right away. It was like
That's how I laugh.
in love. You always
Totally.
laugh
Oh,
at me in
I
love. I
totally
know.
laugh and love. And
I know.
hopefully you take it
Oh,
correctly.
I always do. I like you always say, I know your heart, and I know you would not. I don't.
Mhm.
I don't
And
listen.
I also know you're going to change your mind in another minute. So-
That's right. We have to talk about that too. Anyway, so yeah, because I forgot to ask you about that. Don't worry, people. No big deal. But
Okay.
that it was just it was something that
Uh-huh.
I used. She suggested something, and I went, well, is that really what we want to do? Kind of. And well, that's what I thought I was saying anyway. It didn't come out that way.
Is this the direction that we want to go in?
That was it. Yeah. Are you so because I always ask before I do something.
Mhm.
Anyway, so after I had my little tantrum, then I went, okay, so what else can I do? And it came to me a huge download, and I just saw this Celestial Helpers Facebook page and Instagram and all these things. And that's what I spent my morning doing when I was supposed to be doing the dishes and other things. So this is what happens in my house. So yeah, I'll get the dishes done later. So anyway, so I set it all up and then I was like, oh, that's how that happens. You have that resistance and then or you feel hurt or whatever it is. And then you say to yourself, how are we going to get past this? Because you can't be 5 years old again. What else are you going to do? And let's help that 5-year-old grow. That would be a good thing because I don't like when I have reactions like that.
Well, and I think we all, especially with the social media, if you post something and you notice that nobody likes you, or it's like I have to tell myself that's not what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it to
Right.
get it out. I'm doing it to maybe because I know, I watch a lot of videos that I love, but I don't click like. You know what I mean? I know.
Shame on you. You should
I
not have told everybody that.
I'm sorry.
You have no business telling
No,
them to click
so
like if you
so
don't.
actually, but what I am is I am most of the viewers of our channel, I'm thinking.
Oh,
They
I
still
see
like
that
it,
they
but they
watch
just
it,
forget to
but
click
they
like.
forget to click like. Okay, I like
See,
that
see how
idea.
I turn that around?
I like
But
that. Yeah.
but wink wink. But my job is to put it out there.
Well, because
I feel
that's it.
inspired for a reason, and that reason is to help uplift, humanity, and hopefully humanity does get uplifted, but it is not my focus or care that I don't get the feedback.
It's not just the feedback that is needed because we're just putting those ideas out. It
Mhm.
doesn't have to be that somebody reads it. And this is what they told me after I had
Yes.
my tantrum. It doesn't mean that nobody saw it, and
Mhm.
you don't have to. it doesn't have to be that they read it. The thought is out there,
Hmm.
and
I am
you're
putting it
changing
out.
the collective.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm putting it out into the universe, and the
Mm.
universe can do with it what it wants.
Exactly. Exactly. So what they said is, are you still upset? I see you're still upset. And I said, yes, I'm feeling like I'm not doing what I should be doing to help the helpers because that's my job. And they were like, just erase that. You're doing everything that you need to do and don't worry. We'll let you know. And I was like, yeah, that's true. They sure do let me know when I got to do something. You got to go over here in the grocery store. No, I don't want to. You got to go over here. I
That
don't
was like
want to go over.
tug, tug, tug.
Yeah,
You're
right.
going this way.
That's right. But we always have free will. I could have just kept going, and then I would have had to order those things on Amazon or something, and I may not have found the
Right.
right. These are the best ones. So anyway, so yeah, but always, always, always be in your highest frequency before you do these connections that they're asking us to do. And I guess they're going to have more lessons on. I guess it's a good thing that you did the clearing part first, because before you start doing these things, you should, know where you're at.
Mhm.
As they used
And
to say in
yeah.
Michigan, as they say in Michigan.
And if you have dreams that you have a certain feeling about, such as stress dreams, don't just go, oh, I had a stress dream. I must not be getting enough sleep or I must not be eating right. But maybe that stress dream is trying to point you into a direction that you need to go back and revisit because
That's
you're holding something.
right. Got to release this stuff.
Hmm.
And, it's nice to release, but it's also really the best thing is to know what it was before you release it. And then
Hmm.
it won't come back. That's it.
And
That's
and that's another thing is like, well, how do I know that the stress dream was for that? But that's what came into my mind. So you have kind of have to go with that.
that's how you know.
That's how you know.
Yeah, yeah, it's like if you ask a question and the answer comes and you say, "Oh no, that's not it." Well,
That's
but
not
the
it.
answer came. What is that story about the guy that he was in a flood and he said
Yeah.
he knew that source was going to save him and
Yes.
somebody
God
came
will
by and
save me.
yeah, somebody came by in a canoe and he said, "Oh, I'm waiting for God." So they left and somebody came by and I don't know what, and then finally there was like a helicopter and he was like, "Oh no, I'm waiting for, and then he croaked and he went to the other side and he was like, "God, why didn't you save me?" God says, "Well, I don't know. I sent you a rowboat, I sent you a canoe, I sent you a helicopter." So you have to be open to hear those things and what comes in you have to trust that that's what it is. Unless, of course, it's something, that is uncharacteristic to you that is not
But
a nice thing, but
sometimes you have to delve into those not nice things
yeah,
too.
yeah, that's what we're talking about.
That's
That's
why we're
right.
talking about it.
Clear all that crap. That's right. Hey, that's a good name for the podcast. Clear your
Clear all
crap.
that crap. I like crap as a word.
Well, I do too. I like crap like Cheetos and oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And technically you can say it more freely than that S word.
Yes, well, that's true. That's very true. And you can put such oomph behind it. I love it. So yeah, so upcoming podcasts will be lessons, but also we have a couple people that we're trying to book and a couple others that we've asked that probably will not agree to do it because it's just
They're
a
busy.
little fun little podcast. So, but we're getting our word out. The energy is out in the universe, even if it's just between you and me, Vicki.
That's right.
That's right.
Thank you,
So,
universe.
yes, thank you, universe. And thank you,
And
Vicki.
if anybody in this universe has thumbs that they want to use for a
Yes.
thumbs up.
Oh, as thumbs they want to use. Even though, okay, you're going to say do a thumbs up rather than like the
No,
video.
no, I did
Ah.
not say that. I
Oh.
said if you want to use some thumbs, feel free.
Well, I'll say it straight out. Subscribe, like, and share. There you go.
There you go. Everybody has free will,
Well,
which is good and bad, which
yeah,
is good.
it can be. It can be. Depends on how you look at it.
That's
But
right.
I am so grateful for you, Vicki, that you sit through all this, the channelings. And I like to watch when I rewatch the video to watch
Oh, you're
your
gonna
face.
love one of them.
Oh,
I got very excited over
oh,
something.
you did? Oh, good. I know there was one where you went, last time. I was like, what did I say? I had to go
Well,
back.
that's one of the, I don't know why people aren't more expressionful. I don't know if that's the
Oh, that is really a great word.
word. Because
Expression.
I've always been somebody who made faces, whether that's good or bad, but it is a part of myself that I have grown to love, good or bad.
Yes. Yeah,
But
the only time I didn't like how expressive I am was when we had that podcast with Amrit because I was so excited. I just kept going.
yeah, but something, but that was your little girl coming out, having a great time.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I loved
I
it.
was so high that was so cool. I was so excited about that and I still and we're in the Amrit community and Vicky's been a little more popular this week than I was at all. I wasn't even I read things but I didn't
Well,
post things, but
um,
it's so
it's
cool.
it's a small enough community that I think I can probably put some of my thoughts from Facebook that for my page into that community and hopefully they accept me. And here, and the thing is, I go around going, oh my God, somebody's gonna think blah blah blah. Oh my God, somebody's gonna
Oh
hate me. Oh my God. I
no.
go around thinking that and I don't
Oh.
know why it matters to me. I haven't quite gotten to the root of that yet, but I know it's there because every time I post something, I regurgitate
Oh wow.
that feeling of, oh my God, did I go too far? Oh my God,
Oh,
did
oh, the
I,
too far thing. Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah,
did I make people disconnect from me? That kind of stuff.
right.
Isn't
Well,
that weird?
I no, I
I
understand.
am so afraid of alienating.
It's
Maybe
a
that's
human.
maybe that's the core. I'm afraid of alienating people.
Hmm.
That's a thought. Huh,
Hmm.
interesting.
I, I,
So
I was
people,
like that when
I
I
don't
first.
want to alienate you. I want you to love
No,
me. That's my 5-year-old.
I don't care if people love me or not. I care if they love the message. But well, that's because I don't need other people to
Yeah.
love me.
Well, yeah,
I
see,
love me a lot. So
I am my message.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. But I understand what you mean. It's
Mhm.
like the when I first started New Light Connection, there were a lot of people that were already. We were all. It's like we all did the same thing in there for a while, so
Mhm.
everybody was there. But then when it turned more into where they weren't there all the time, and they were like, just take it and do with it what you want. I'm not into it anymore because it was during COVID, so that's why we were all in there. And then when it was my own, I would post something and I would watch to see did anybody like it. And at first you do.
Uh-huh.
At first you do that. Now, the
Mhm.
only reason I did that this week was because I was so excited about Simeon's thing talking about community, and nobody read it that I know of. Nobody liked it. I didn't even say because it'll tell you how many views, even if
Mhm.
people didn't like it. There were no views, and I was like, what did I do wrong? I put some pictures in, so I took the pictures out. I reposted it, I all this stuff, and still no. And I went, that was where I woke up this morning and I was upset, and I was like, I'm supposed to be meditating. Why am I mad? And that was taught started that whole conversation, and they were like, just go with it.
And think about your normal teenager who gets on social media.
I would not want to be a teenager.
I would not want to go through that because it's
Uh-uh.
hard enough being a 70-year-old wanting people to like you on social media. Can you
Yeah,
imagine being that teenager, that insecure 13-year-old? You know what I mean? Could you imagine?
I
Oh, somebody didn't like me. Oh, somebody didn't like me. Or, it's
yeah,
like, or somebody said something mean, which I don't know why people do, but people do all the time.
yeah,
I
they
don't know
do.
where that comes from. Does it come from being anonymous? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, it does. And because they're latching onto that part of the collective, it's
Yeah.
it's that
Mhm.
energy.
Yeah, these the people that I listen to, and they talk about how, they get negative comments and they're just gonna delete them, and so don't waste your breath. It's like, and it always surprises me how what could be negative about his video or her video? And I don't
Right.
understand how people see the negative, and maybe that's a blind spot that I have.
Well, they
But
have a
I
resistance.
I
They,
don't know why people feel like they need to be mean to other people.
right. Well, hurt people, but not always. But that's part of it. But maybe they were treated badly. But it also, to me, now that I look at it, it's more of a point of growth. They have to, it's like, oh, now I can like they're learning moderation, I guess. Or they're going towards their destruction, one or the
Well,
other.
I'm thinking you have to learn how to love yourself. You have to bring in your own self-worth and not have it be dependent on others.
That's what
And that's a
awakening is
very,
all
very hard
about.
thing to do.
Well, that's what the awakening's whole
Hmm.
process is that you know that there's something more, and these people and things that you have in your life are not giving you that answer.
Hmm.
And you can say God, source, whatever. Even that is looking outside of yourself. When I said that to my celestial helpers, I'm still looking outside of myself, and they were like, no, you know that you are self-sufficient within yourself, and we wouldn't be connecting to you if you weren't. So there are still going to be some people who want to connect because they're looking for something outside of themselves. Part of the lessons that the celestial helpers give are to connect you to yourself. And that's what meditation will do, connect you to yourself,
Hmm.
to your source, to your higher self. And you don't need, that's it. See,
But
when you're
see,
connected to if you're in meditation, you don't care what anybody thinks of you, right? It's only when you're in the 3D
mhm,
world.
I want to bring up your community.
My community.
Well, the word community, and it just kind of for the
Oh,
teenagers and the social media and putting things out there and feeling unloved because you don't get the response back that you need to fill yourself back up.
mm,
And but everybody needs community. Everybody needs that connection. And
and that's
so
where you want to
when,
find the
you
ones
know,
who feel like you do.
and when you're a teenager and you are going through all those, because I remember, my ugly years. I remember my years where I would cry, because I was afraid I had no friends. It's like, and then there's this whole layer of social media. It's really, you really have to learn how to become self-sufficient. And that's really, really hard when you need your community when you're growing up, you know?
Right. Well, you just have to pick the right friends.
Right.
But and
Yeah.
that's happening for let's put it this way, for anyone who is of love and light, for anyone who is looking for to help people, for anyone who is in that mindset, they're going to find their community faster. Like,
Hmm.
I look back on my high school and junior high school days, and I think of the people that everybody made fun of, and I always ended up in those groups because I would look at them and say, this is terrible. Why is it? Probably because it happened to me as a kid. My brothers, maybe. I don't know. I think it was more in a past life that I was shunned a lot in a past life, maybe, because I was very loved at home, even though my brothers did that. I know what it was. In Canada, I never felt that. Not very often because the people maybe it was the way it was set up. The elementary school, everybody lived together around each other and you walked to school together, you did everything together. And everyone knew this person was that kind of person or whatever you want to label people. Everybody knew that, but I felt that we all accepted each other because we were kids, right? Then I came to the US when I was a teenager, and that just knocked me down the way that, like you're talking. And I would see people being awful to other people, and they would be labeling people as homosexuals or whatever. And I'd be like, yeah, so they don't, and I just totally understood it right from the start.
It's
Like,
like,
so why do you care what they trying to get, anyway, long
and of
story
course,
short.
yeah.
But
Not
yeah,
that there's anything wrong with that. I
There
just
is nothing.
I didn't know that's
I
a Jerry Seinfeld thing. Not that
oh
there's anything wrong with
oh
that.
okay.
Just to bring in the
But
humor.
there is nothing wrong with being one. There is something wrong with labeling people that way, in my opinion. But that was my junior high school days and my high school days. So when you talk about, being a teenager in that setting, I probably wouldn't want anything to do with social media. I would have just been like, that ain't my thing. You guys do it. I'm not doing it because I don't want to, and my self-worth is not contingent on how many likes I get on Facebook. But for me, this thing was because I felt I wasn't doing the right thing for Celestial Helpers. It didn't have to do with me personally. Okay. So, but, my reaction was very personal. Well, all right then. But anyway, I would not want anything to do with social media. And my Facebook, a lot of people got off Facebook because they couldn't take all these things would pop up. And I said, well, you have to just keep clicking
Well,
stuff, hide.
yeah, and
The
I do
algorithm
know,
changes
yeah.
with whatever you put into it. It's what you put, just like life. You
Mhm.
have to put something good into it and you'll get good out of it. So I'm trying.
I do know that a lot of these, there's a lot of bots out there that will automatically put triggering things in people's comments.
Yes.
Because, and there's a lot of, anonymity. People get to become somebody else and get out feelings that maybe they have within themselves that they would never do in real life.
And that's a service, really, if you think of it.
I know it's good that he can get it off his chest in one way or another. However, you don't want to hurt people in the process. So,
Maybe they'll learn from that
it
if they
is
hurt
a big,
people.
this is, another big old learning curve that we are
Yeah,
in this stage of the game.
it is. It is. And
And it's a
but
complicated, it's a complicated world
I
to
see,
navigate.
I don't see it that way. I just look at it as, well, because I'm always in my world. My world is
Yeah, see,
mine.
I see the world from lots of different aspects.
Yeah, I do too, but I look at it as them. No, I don't look at
But
it. I look at it as us. So it's us and we, but then there's
mhm,
me and
mm.
I within that. And when I went to the store yesterday, and they have these self-checkouts now and people are so mad about them. Well, being mad didn't change anything. So I decided not to be mad. So sometimes I use them if I only have two or three things, but I had a lot and they only had one regular line open and it started to back up because the checker person was trying to help the person in front of me. And but she was okay with it. But then when it came to be my turn, well, her supervisor came over, like, she said very nicely though, not like, what's the holdup, but she was like, what are you looking for? Because she was looking through the thing to find the 99 cent whatever for the woman in front of me. It was so funny. And that type of thing used to really piss me off. But I'm standing there going, well, Donna, you could have used a self-checkout, that you don't like, but you could have been out of here by now. But I just felt like I don't know. I know this sounds like I got a big head, but I just felt like my frequency was helping others calm down. And so I didn't want to leave. Plus, I already had my stuff on the belt, so I was going to wait. And so then the woman ahead of me was upset. And then she calmed down because whatever, the girl helped her. And then when I came up, the girl's like, I'm so sorry that took so long. And I said, well, it's not your fault. They only have one checkout open, right? And she went, like, she was so surprised, like, wow, you really put a lot of thought into that, kind of a thing, rather than just, oh, it's okay, and I was like, hey, I'm the one who didn't use the self-checkout, so, and I just felt like it's such a different atmosphere for me to go to the store than it used to be. I was just always like, get out of my way. I want to, and it's just a whole different thing now. So
Yeah.
because of the work that I've done on myself and because of my connections. I got connections. But you know what I mean. Anyway,
Yeah.
ah,
Yeah, I spend a lot of time, well, not, I don't really spend a lot of time, but in the checkout line, I usually, if I see something and I what it I usually say something to the person either in front of me or back of me regarding something that they have. And it's
Right.
usually something funny. And
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
I do that a lot. I just, make people laugh.
Yeah. That's neat. I like that. I do
It's
that
like,
too.
one time this guy he was buying all these bags of candy. It's
For
getting close to
Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, stocking up early, are you?" He goes, "Well, if it makes it that far." So, we
Yeah.
all laughed about that.
Yeah, that's buying early. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know I don't have trick-or-treaters where I live, but I'm surprised that kids actually go door to door still. I think that's a wonderful thing. So see, some things are still here that are good.
Yeah, and we actually passed a trunk or treat or whatever it was, where people were going in the trunks and of the cars. Yeah, but something, it's not that.
I
It's a
don't know what
very
you
happy
mean.
thing.
What is it? What is
Oh, it's where a bunch of cars park and it's a trick or treat. Instead of going door to door, you go from car to car.
oh, oh, how interesting.
And kids, a lot of churches have them. And
Oh, okay.
everybody gets dressed up and you go as a family and it was a very happy thing. But it's like people going door to door. Yeah, it's kind of sad that it doesn't happen, but like I don't have them at my house anymore, and I honestly don't want them at my house. I'm an old person. I want to go to bed.
Well, that too.
And
Yeah, I can
so
do
it's
that.
like things do evolve. Things
Yeah.
do evolve.
And things
And
will evolve as if we're looking at them if we're looking forward to a good thing rather than,
mhm,
complaining that, oh, they don't have that anymore. Well, look for the new good thing,
yeah, look for
like
the
the
new
trunk or
thing
treat.
because
That's
it's going to
good.
be popping up and it's going to be better.
That's right. That's it. All right.
Okay, now we're done. Woo, this is a long one. I'm
That's a
sorry.
good one. No, that's okay. Don't be sorry. Don't apologize. If people watch it, maybe they get some fun out of it. And at
That's
least we're
right.
not boring. That's a good thing. I don't think we are. I think we're hopping.
There you go.
So
So
thank you all for hanging
thank
out.
you.
Yeah, and thank you, Vicki, always for being here for us. And so what is it their time for? It's your time for
It's
clearing.
it's it's your time for getting those cobwebs out of the corners.
Oh my God, that is so good. Oh, that is so good. I'm gonna call it that.
Clear those cobwebs.
Clear those
That
cobwebs. That's
that's right.
good. Well, even though it's before Halloween, and you may want them for Halloween, right?
You don't want
Um,
those though.
I
You want
know.
the ones that you buy
Well,
and you
those
put up.
supposedly now they say the birds get caught in those, so I don't buy those. So here I am looking at the bad side
I
of.
was gonna say
But
a lot of houses now have those. Now I'm just gonna think about those dead birds.
oh no, I'm sorry. Well, let's cut that part out. I have to
No,
learn
now
how
you
to
have to leave it
edit.
in.
You always say
Because
that.
there will be
We're
something
here for the good.
evolving from
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Yes, we're here for the good
Yes.
and the bad. So that's
Yes.
cool.
All
So
right.
thank you,
Okay,
everybody.
you guys, thank you for being here.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Me too. Bye.
Okay, bye.